The Giants' month of June started off bad, just taking a game or two in the first couple of series, just to end up losing the series, or barely splitting the series if it was a four-game series. They beat up most teams. They were beat up by most teams at times in the middle of June, but they had a strong finish at the end of June with as they're on a four-game winning streak after sweeping the Rockies and then beating the Pirates 13-5 last night as this recording. In the month of June, they had to find different ways to spark the offense, which the offense has been non-existent at times this year. So how did they do that? Well, they had to call up some guys: Austin Slater, Ryder Jones, and J.U. Wong. Some of those moves paid off, like Slater and Wong. They've had some impact at times. But the Giants hitting isn't the only thing that struggled in the month of June. The pitching, which is supposed to be one of their biggest strengths, at times has been their biggest weakness. Everyone in that starting rotation, even guys who have been consistent at times this season, had one or even multiple very, very bad starts. But in the last couple games, the Giants' pitching has played well enough to keep the Giants in games and give them a chance to win. But injuries has been one of the main reasons some of these new Giants have been called up to the Major League roster. One injury that stood out: Mark Melancon. This is his second stint on the DL, and that's not a guy you want injuring because of. That's not a guy you want to get injured, especially knowing how the bullpen has played at times. But so you want a guy like him to be healthy. With that being said, what is the month of July going to be like for the Giants? Well, if you would ask me the middle of June, I would have told you that they are being dragged to the All-Star break by Buster Posey. You know, they need a break. But right now, they are limping there. If they can carry this hot streak into the month of July and beyond, they can, and they have a chance to still be in the wild card race. But if they don't, you could see some selling at the trade deadline. Speaking of the trading deadline is July 31st, and if they could play well enough to stay in it, they may not sell, or maybe not as much as people may think they will. But if they play like they have most of the season, they will do a mini rebuild and sell a couple of pieces. If they do that, I see them doing it the way the Pirates did last year and giving up a couple pieces like Mark Melancon, among others, and also getting some guys in return like Ivan Nova to help them in the long run. But there's still a long way to go, and it'll be interesting to see what the Giants are going to do at the All-Star break and at the end of June. Well, if you ask me, I think these guys can't sustain it. I hope they can. The Giants that we've seen the last week are the Giants that, that we've seen how good they are. We've seen that this team is good and they could possibly make a run at it. But they're going to have to get better. The Giants are known for, getting on these cold streaks. Guys like Brandon Belt, when they get hot, they're hot, but when they're cold, they are cold as ice. They need to find a way to fix that. They need to find a way to get it going and keep it the way it is. Don't just suddenly fall off. You got to sustain hot. And it's, at times it could be hard because of the fact that we're headed into a mini break, and you could say this team needs a break, but right now they're hot. And do they really want a break? Do they really want to get a couple of days off? That may not be the best thing for them. With the All-Star break coming up, they really only have one All-Star that's for sure a lock, and that's Buster Posey, who led the NL in the catching, the votes for catcher, and there's no way he's not going to be in there. Is there another guy who could sneak in? I could see a Joe Panik sneaking in there, but that's about it. Maybe being a final vote candidate. I don't know. And speaking once again of the trading deadline, what are they going to do in July? Those are the two biggest things in July: the trading deadline and the All-Star break. Like I said, it depends how they do. Okay, last year at this time they were playing great, the first half of the season they were great. The second half, they were one of the worst teams in baseball and have looked like they did in the months of April, May, and most of June. Can I mean, and so maybe I'm hoping they do a little like reverse. Now they can get it together and play great in the month of July and after the All-Star break. Play great after the All-Star break and hopefully make a run at the wild card. And who knows? Last year we thought it was impossible for the Dodgers to come back, and they ended up winning the division last year. So you never know what could happen. Like I said, the trading deadline. I think that they will do a mini rebuild, even if they are not that good. I think they'll still sell a couple pieces and do what the Pirates did, even if they're in it. I could see it. I could see it going either way for them. But at this point, I just want them to get better. I want to see these Giants play better baseball, and I think they can do it. I hope they can do it. I know they have it in them. I know that if they can get this thing together, they can get hot, and they're not a team you want to run into in the playoffs because they're battle-tested. Well, let's hope they can at least get there and get better, because the month of July is going to be the defining month for them. And they got to find a way to turn the season around in the month of July, because that will be the most important month of the Giants season, is the month of July.